A lot of you asked questions about how to best make the transition from music student to professional concert pianist, and also how to network, how to freelance, how to manage that whole business side of things, and how to actually get to play concerts. That, of course, also is a huge topic that Hi, this is Danae, and today's video is going to be a Q&A video. I asked you guys to send me all your questions over on Instagram, which you did, and thank you very much because I got a lot of questions. So I'm going to try to go through most of them and try to skip similar ones and see how far we get. So the first question is, do you have perfect pitch? I absolutely don't have perfect pitch. Whenever I had theory when I was studying and I had to write down melodies that the professor played and chords and intervals, I always had to go note for note instead of somehow being able to write down the whole melody, because I definitely don't have perfect pitch. The next question is, what's your maximum stretch at the piano? My maximum stretch is 11 notes, so C to F with both hands. I can't play that at the same time. At the same time I can do 10, C to E, but if I first press C and then the second note, it's C to F. The next question is, what is my favorite lesser known composer? And I think at the moment that would be a Greek composer whose name is Manolis Kalomiris. I actually just recorded some of his pieces on my new CD, and I really love his music. I love the folk influence, the Greek rhythms, the Greek melodies that you find in his pieces. They're actually quite hard for piano and really beautiful, and I'm looking forward to learning more of his repertoire. He also has something written for piano and orchestra, so maybe I will look into that as well. The next question is, how can you play fast without tensing up in your wrist? And I think that's a very important question because, of course, you always want to stay loose in the wrist area. I think the most important thing is the preparation. So it's practicing slowly, practicing the fast passages step by step with different exercises, increasing the tempo really slowly, and then you won't tense up. If you just play it fast immediately, you will definitely tense up right away. And then I also think it's not just about the wrist, it's actually about your entire body. So if you feel that you're tensing up at the wrist, maybe also check your shoulders, check your arm, your upper arm, check your elbow, your overall posture, because if you start doing that, then the wrist is definitely going to tense up as well. But if you're relaxed here and the upper arm is relaxed and your elbows are relaxed, then there's a higher chance that your wrist won't tense up. But I find that that often happens in really difficult passages, ones where you feel uncomfortable. So this usually is a sign that you have to practice them slowly, take a step back, look at them slowly, separate them into little pieces. Yeah, maybe I could do a separate video about exercises on fast passages and how I avoid exactly that, because it's quite a big topic, but this is what I would say in a quick answer. A lot of you asked questions about how to best make the transition from music student to professional concert pianist, and also how to network, how to freelance, how to manage that whole business side of things, and how to actually get to play concerts. That, of course, also is a huge topic that I could talk about a lot, and also that has many different aspects to it. I think that the most important thing that one should keep in mind is that being a pianist is not a job that starts after you finish your studies. So you should never think, okay, I'm going to study, and once I have my master's degree or whatever degree you're going to have, I'm going to start looking into actually being a pianist. Giving concerts and freelancing and all this stuff, networking, is something that starts much earlier, ideally while you're studying or maybe even before. And it definitely is something that you have to do. Always look at your network, look at people that can help you, that can maybe introduce you to other people, that can invite you to play in their concert series, that can be your chamber music partner, composers whose pieces you can play. There are so many people that can be valuable to you in your music network, and it is something that has to happen already very early, because the older you get and the later you start networking from zero, the harder it's going to be. So I would definitely say, as a general tip, start early and try to really take every opportunity that you get, even if it's not paid, even if it's just a small concert. When I started playing concerts, I really had the mindset of play everything just for the experience, because every concert experience already is something that is of great help to you. So yeah, in the beginning, don't be selective, just play, play, play. The only thing where you should be selective is it fun? Don't do anything that you feel uncomfortable with. Don't do anything that isn't fun, or play repertoire that you absolutely hate. So just watch out that you play stuff that you love, that you make music with the people that you want to make music with. But other than that, really take every opportunity that comes your way. But that again is really a huge topic, and if you want me to go more into depth about the whole networking aspect, maybe how I started out, maybe also about agencies, because that of course also plays an important role further down the road, then let me know and I can make a separate video on that as well. Another interesting question is that everyone says that emotions and feelings are very important when making music, but one can't really hear them. Of course, it's true. How does happiness sound, or how does sadness sound? And I think the important thing here is to keep in mind that emotions are something very personal and something that can be expressed in a very personal way. And what happiness is to one person might even be sadness to another person. So when you're listening to a piece, or when you're looking at a piece and you're thinking to yourself, okay, this should sound happy or maybe excited, then try to figure out what you personally think excitement sounds like. Don't try to think, okay, would that person find it exciting? Would that person find it exciting? But try to find your own personal feeling of happiness, excitement, and express that in the character of the piece. Very often composers intended pieces to be very sad, and then someone else actually thought that was actually quite uplifting and hopeful. But that is exactly what music is supposed to be. It's supposed to be an own personal journey for everybody. So when you're looking for feelings and emotions, I would say keep in mind it's very subjective, and look for your own personal feelings and emotions. The composer has his picture of the piece. The musician that plays the composer's piece has his interpretation and his angle, and then the listener in the audience has his own perspective once again. And I also think that when you play a piece in a concert, it always sounds different from concert to concert, because your emotions also fluctuate. When you think about sadness today, it might be a different feeling from sadness 3 weeks ago. So yeah, keep in mind that it's very subjective, very personal, and it always changes. Another interesting question that I got is, how can one sound like Sokolov? And the example that that person gave was that rich sound in the melody that sounds very carried. I completely understand what you mean, and of course I don't have the exact answer because I'm not Sokolov. But I think the way to achieve that very warm melodic sound in the right hand is to actually activate your finger muscles, and not think that it has to be done with an arm or with any kind of strength. In my experience, this sound always is created when you're completely loose, maybe even laid back a little bit, kind of receptive to the music, and then you just let your finger do the job. And even if it's a piano, maybe think more into the direction of mezzo piano if you're in a big hall. I think that's what these big pianists do. They think more about projection because they play in big halls so much. So when you play a piano, think that that sound has to reach the very last person in the very last row of that big concert hall. So try playing the key really without being afraid, a little bit stronger, but just with your finger muscles. I don't know if that was any help at all, but that's what I always think of when I'm trying to achieve this kind of warm melodic sound. Another question was, have you ever played Douze Notations by Pierre Boulez? And no, I haven't, but I would definitely love to and might look into that in the future. Another question is, what would I have become if I hadn't become a pianist? That actually is a good question. I probably would have become a ballet dancer, because ballet is something that I did for a very long time, and also in a pretty intense kind of way. Until I was 18 years old, I actually danced ballet at the opera in Düsseldorf, which is the German city where I grew up. I absolutely loved it. I still love it. I trained 4 to 5 times a week at some point in my life. But then, of course, it was too much to do both ballet and piano in such an intense way. So I decided that piano is what I choose, and I think I definitely made the right choice. But when I go and see a ballet performance today, I'm really nostalgic and I really love it, and I'm also sometimes a little bit sad that I'm not doing that anymore. I think it's a really beautiful art form and it played a really important role in my youth. Someone else asked if I have ever composed an own piece and if I've played it in a concert. And the answer is yes. I actually composed quite a lot when I was younger. I even worked together with a composition teacher for a couple of years and had a scholarship for composition. And of course, I also played my own pieces in concert and in competitions. I stopped when I was about, I think, 14 or 15 years old. There was no particular reason why I stopped. I just kind of lost track of it, which is quite a pity. Actually, now that I think about it, I would love to take it up again. My favorite piece that I composed is a fugue and then a Greek fantasy based on the theme of that fugue. Maybe if you want to, I can make a video of me playing that. And then another question that I got quite a lot is how do I balance my professional and my personal / family life? Of course, that also is a huge topic. Firstly, I want to say that both these things, professional and family life, are of course very important to me. But of course, if I had to choose, I would always choose the family. And this is what in the end has the highest priority. But what I have come to notice is that when I am happy myself and when I feel comfortable and at ease and at peace, that's when I can be the best at all these things. So I can be the best mother, girlfriend, friend, daughter, sister when I'm happy myself and when nothing is really bothering me inside. And I've also noticed that the way that I get happy is actually very often playing the piano and making music. It's not so much concerts, but at least practicing and feeling that I'm really making progress in the pieces. And that's why I've realized that sometimes taking out 2 or 3 hours of my day and actually saying, okay, I am going to practice and making that a priority actually helps me be a better mother to my kids and just be happier in general. So I think the biggest tip that I can give to that, balancing professional and family life, is to look after yourself, to make sure that you are doing the things that you love, that you enjoy, that are important to you, that make you happy. And then when you're happy, then you can be the best version of yourself for everybody. And also you have so much more energy. I really love this metaphor about that we all carry a cup in front of us, and if that cup is full of water, then we can give water to other people. So if my cup is full, then I can give water to whoever wants it. But if my cup is empty, then I cannot give any water, and then I'm not of any help to anybody. But again, this is of course a very big topic, and I have so much more to say about that. So if you want a separate video on that as well, let me know and I can do that. There are many separate videos coming up in this Q&A, but I just try to somehow answer your questions at least shortly. As I said, if you want some more in-depth answers, I can make them in separate videos. Another question is if I can imagine becoming a piano teacher at some point. And the answer is, of course, I can imagine becoming a teacher at some point in the future. I actually have had students in the past, and I really, really enjoy it. I think it is one of the nicest things to share your knowledge with other people that are actually interested in it. It's kind of also why I'm doing this channel. So I could absolutely imagine becoming a piano teacher. Right now, of course, I'm traveling a lot, I'm playing a lot, so there's not really enough time for me to have regular student, especially not these kind of students that need a lesson every week, because I'm definitely not at home every week. But in the future, I can definitely imagine doing that. And then the last question that I got is that somebody said that no matter how well prepared they are, they always get nervous on stage. I have made a video on how to deal with stage fright and performance anxiety, where I talk more about that whole subject of how to deal with it. So definitely take a look at that if you want. I can link it down below. But I think the most important thing with that is to always keep in mind a mistake is not the end of the world. When you are scared and when you are anxious before you play, although you are very well prepared, because that of course is definitely the key to feeling confident, So if you are anxious, ask yourself, what exactly are you scared of? Are you scared of maybe forgetting the music, not having it memorized? Are you scared of a specific passage? Are you scared of making a wrong note? Or what exactly are you scared of? And once you can pinpoint that, then just tell yourself, okay, so let's look at the worst case scenario. Let's say that that passage is not going to work out. What's going to happen? Okay, you're not going to play 4, 5, 6 notes. It's really not the end of the world. The rest of the piece might still sound beautiful. And when you look at it in that way and make it, a little more trivial, then I think it takes away some of the fear. But yeah, for more details and more thoughts of mine on this, definitely check out my video on how to deal with stage fright. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this first Q&A of mine. I hope I answered all of your questions. I know I left some out, but I tried to put similar ones together. But if you have more questions, of course, let me know in the comments, and I will definitely make another Q&A video sometime soon. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!